What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit, eh? Lit up with man. Turn. Today, it's motherfucking day, straight hood and outside, big crib, man. Out here in the hood, man. Trying to do litty positive things in this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? Big crib out here, September 1st. Don't go to work. Make sure you like and subscribe to these videos up, man. Come to us as a Black Hebrew Israelite, man. We're gonna keep on trying to motivate, put out this good entertainment, man. You know, stay positive. You know what I'm saying? We can do whatever we put our minds to. You did. We just gotta have the faith and courage to keep on doing it, man. You know, can't let people bring us down. You know, cause people gonna always hate. No matter who they is, you know, they gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's natural for people to hate. But you gotta look on the positive side. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing nothing right. So, hey man, so make sure you like and subscribe to the videos and you're back and we in this bitch. Alright. Today, two motherfucking days, straight hood and outside crib, man. So we finna talk about man, ADAM22, AD, Trell, OG suicide, yeah, and little Housephone. So, ADAM22 is talking reckless on ADAM22, on AD and Trell and little Housephone. I got the videos of ADAM22 talking on OG, because the OG suicide situation is kind of outdated. But you know what I'm saying? It all brings down to the boiling clips of what's going on. So if you want to watch it, you should really want to watch this, because it really, you could probably, a lot of people don't probably already watch this shit, but it still boils down. That nigga brought a fucking chair, bitch, to the fucking section to knock that nigga out. And y'all seen that video of the Montgomery? That girl had that big ass pickle nose after getting hit with that damn chair. Bitch had a big ass nose like that. Imagine seeing Adam dumbass like that, bro. That shit would have been ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? He calling AD and Trell snakes and little Housephone snakes and shit. Calling them out of their names and wild shit. You know what I'm saying? He talks to OG sitting suicide. How he was asked for money and shit, man. I mean, ADAM22, man. It really don't look good on your part off the back of everybody you had on your motherfucking station is gone. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying the people you got now is not a good, like, replacement, because y'all doing good, you know what I'm saying? But it still just look like it's a whole bad situation, because everybody left. Lush, Dunno, all them niggas left. Lil Housephone, everybody was in that bitch almost from day one gone, nigga. You got a whole replacement of other niggas in that bitch. I mean, they all kind of, they funny and interest kind of a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I understand he trying to talk shit on AD and them because they left him and they thought he was going to end. But, you know, if you get your bitch out to get ran through, you know what I'm saying? Hey, anything is possible. If your bitch get ran through by the black community, anything is possible, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think Adam, man, he's feeling himself a little bit, man, because it's like, man, you know, if some niggas came down and just really ran down on, you know what I'm saying, it'd be a bad situation. But I don't think motherfuckers be trying to think to even get to that point. He's a white dude, man. Nobody really worried about that motherfucker. I mean, of course, he gonna run the motherfucking money and all that shit. But nigga, if it really came down to like situations, it could get dealt with quick and easy. Believe that. But I don't think it's just like even get into that point. You know what I'm saying? I think they just all just making sure they stay on that nigga head. You know what I'm saying? So we got the videos of everything that's going on, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, the videos up, and yeah.
Might crush a few hearts. There we go. Look at all the love, man. Somebody put oranges. I don't know what that means, but oh, back on Fig. Yep. Back on Fig. Fig Munity. Oh, that's Fig Munity. My loved ones. My loved ones. Save me a seat. My loved ones. There we go. Where we at now, loved one?
192.
Okay. 10 more people, y'all. 10 more people. 10 more people. Thank y'all for the love. Now, if OG Suicide is one that keep it 100 with y'all all the time, do me one last favor. Flood the chat with 100 emojis. Flood the chat. Flood the chat. That's it. And in 5 minutes, man, I'm going to say what I got to say because it's very important. And I got all my supporters in the building right now with OG Suicide in the building. Flood the chat with 100 emojis, the 100 emojis, because I keep it 100 with everybody. There we go. Let's get the 100 emojis going. Because I keep it 100 with everybody. Everybody, and y'all know I do. Y'all know I do. Let's flood the chat with the 100 emojis. Let's flood the chat with the 100 emojis.
We're at 200.
For OG Suicide in the building. There we go. Look at the love. 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 Support is in the building today. And every time I go live or anytime people see me, the love is real. But I got something to say to y'all. Something to say to y'all. I've been putting thoughts together, you know, mentally. I've been putting thoughts together, and I've been figuring out what's my next chapter of my life. What's the next journey of my life, you know? And the big announcement that everyone's been waiting for and everybody's tuned in for. Everybody, the people with the clown emojis, you do not bother me. You know, you're talking about yourself. You must be looking in the mirror because I'm far from a clown. I'm a real one, straight out. But check this out, y'all. I appreciate all the love that everybody been showing me, man, over the past 8 months. All the love y'all been showing me, showing OG Suicide in the building. But do me a favor, keep telling people to follow and subscribe to OG Suicide in the Building YouTube channel. Keep subscribing to the channel. Tell people to subscribe to the channel. And to all my supporters, all of y'all, I love y'all. But check this out. As of today is my official last day at No Jumper. This is my last day at No Jumper. I would no longer be here at No Jumper filming my show at all. My show, I'm moving on with, I'm taking elsewhere. Keep subscribing to OG Suicide in the Building because the channel's going with me. But this is my official last day. This is my announcement to y'all. Today is my last day at No Jumper. I would no longer be at No Jumper. You know, that time has came for me to go. It's official. Today, I'm out of here. But keep subscribing to OG Suicide in the Building. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Because I got something in store for you. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I got something in store for you. And my nephew Dre Hill is finna show me how to really, you know, operate this YouTube thing. But today, when I walk out this door, I'm walking out for good. I'm no longer a part of No Jumper. I'm no longer with No Jumper, you know, and I mean that. And that's what it is. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. Keep following, keep supporting, keep subscribing. And you want to know the most craziest shit? People have been asking, what's the chair for? I brung this chair for somebody to give it to them as a gift. but unfortunately they not here, you know, because I was trying to give charity to somebody, you know. That's why I got this chair here, because this chair speak volume. And I thought I was going to be able to let it talk, but I guess not. But guess what? I'm out of here. Fuck off.
So this nigga,
I don't want to upload this onto my platform. What's up, Skinny from the 9? I do want to hide the chat just because I don't want any like weirdness on the screen. Click the 3 buttons on the side of the chat. 3 buttons? I don't see 3 buttons on the side of the chat. Am I tripping? Or is this? I don't see 3 buttons. Maybe I just won't even look at it. Maybe I'll just talk and not look at it so I don't have to think about it. 3 dots. Everybody keeps saying 3 dots. I don't have 3 dots. I wish I could show you guys this so you could understand. Oh, right there. Turn off commenting. Boom. Okay, there we go. Screen record this. Post it on Reddit. Post it wherever you want. Recently, somebody who used to be affiliated with No Jumper, OG Suicide, I'll just say his name. He did a little video where he spoke on me and No Jumper. I just want to do a quick reaction so that I don't have to talk about it on Tuesday. Here's the timeline. This is not even like a reaction or a thing where this isn't even like me giving my opinion. This is just me breaking down the situation as I see it. So maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, OG Suicide, who is AD's homie, big homie, if you will, and that's how I know him, is because he used to come through the office a good amount, like just to kick it with AD or whatever. I do an interview with him. Very, very good interview. Insanely sad. You know, he's like the adoption stuff. He tried to, so crazy interview. Like one of the craziest ones I ever did. After we get done the interview, he says that he wants to get into doing YouTube. He wants to talk to people. He wants to do content. I told him that the spot that we were in at that time would not be a good fit for that because we didn't have enough room, but that we were trying to upgrade. And that once we got into a new spot, if we had additional studio time, that we would be happy to let him use the space. Once we get into a new space, we said, okay, you can use it. I did this for 2 reasons. 1, because I was moved by his interview. 2, because AD, someone that I cared about / still care about in some sort of hypothetical alternate reality. So we let him use the space, and that was fine. You know, he did a bunch of interviews for like the last 8 or 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. Mostly sitting down with different people from the No Jumper universe, brought in some other people from his own universe, that sort of thing. And it was fun. To be honest, the channel never got enough views for the channel to be monetized, you know? Because I think like that was part of what I told him is I was like, well, I'm not going to put your stuff on the main channel. Or actually, I told him I would put like the first 5 episodes on the main channel to sort of get the ball rolling for you. And that then we'll start a channel and we'll help you run it and stuff. And if we can get it monetized, we'll split the revenue. That being said, it never got to the point where we could even monetize it. So no money was ever earned by this channel, right? So fast forward to, and just for the record, I consider this to be probably one of the most selfless things that I've ever done as a content creator. I've never just like, you know, I've given people shows on my channel that earn money for the channel, right? But I've never just like given somebody, you know, free studio time, my employees' time, my editor's time, all this thing, like all these different things that realistically, if I had to guess, including like the employee time, the studio time, I mean, this is like, we're talking $10,000-$15,000 worth of like time and employee time and studio time, you know, like just renting a studio space $100 an hour, $150 an hour, I think is pretty standard to rent a studio space. Probably not 100, probably more than 100. Anyway, we let him do that for like 8-9 months. As I said, it wasn't getting monetized. Episodes are averaging about 500 views. So my suspicions were kind of confirmed that the content would not have done well on the No Jumper channel. But again, you know, he was always a cool guy to us and stuff. So we just kind of, we're letting him rock, letting him use the studio on our downtime. And then there was like 2 little awkward things over the course of the past couple months. There was one day where I was doing interviews. I had like 2 interviews lined up, and they ended up both going a little late. So I was like 2 hours behind, you know? So like if the interviews were supposed to be done at 4, they didn't get done till 6. OG Suicide was there. He was waiting. He was supposed to interview somebody. And he didn't say anything to me, but I could kind of like feel the vibe. And then I guess he said some stuff to some of the other employees that was a little weird. But I mean, let's be real. If you're getting free studio time just out of the goodness of our heart, and I'm in here doing interviews that are going to get, you know, hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of views, these are the things that literally pay the employees, keep the lights on. That's a different thing. That's, you know, you got to respect that. You can't think that your interview is just going to start on time when I'm doing interviews that realistically are paying the bills and they're going late. Okay, that's obvious. So I wasn't really feeling that. Felt like that was a little awkward. And then the other thing was that he asked me to borrow money. And that was awkward to me, to be honest. I left him on red, which I'm not totally proud of because, you know, it would have been a little bit more mannish to respond and just be like, nah, I don't do that. Because, I mean, of all the homies I've had over the years, especially people who work with me, especially if you work with me, when it comes to letting people borrow money, I really don't like it. Because if you work for me and I'm letting you borrow money, I just feel like it puts us in kind of a weird spot where I don't want to be bugging you and I don't want... And to be honest, like... a lot of times with talent and stuff, it's kind of like, listen, if they need to borrow money here and there, you let them borrow money once, and then you just, that's good, because then you don't really have to do it again, or if they ask you again, it's like, well, bro, I already let you borrow money, so it's kind of, whatever. But either way, when he asked me that, I'm like, thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I'm already letting you use the fucking studio space, and all this shit. I feel like that would be weird. Anyway, so that was already stewing around in my head. And then I hear from some other people that he was also asking them in the office. And that to me is even worse because it's like asking to borrow money in the workplace is just, to me, it's not good. You're putting the people who work for me in an awkward situation where maybe they're going to feel like pressured or like they have to do it or whatever. So a couple of weeks ago, I told Josh, I said, hey, Josh, I think it's time. You should probably tell OG Suicide that we got to wrap it up. Can't record here anymore. We just have way more stuff being recorded. It was becoming more and more difficult to find slots in which he could do his thing. And we've also just kind of accepted after letting him use the studio for 9 months that this was not going to turn a profit. Because, you know, hypothetically, let's say it even made $2,000 a month and we're splitting that. Well, the $1,000 a month, which is nothing to a business the size of No Jumper, it at least would like cover the studio time, or it would begin to cover the cost of the employees that we've had cutting stuff up for you and everything. Because I mean, keep in mind, like, we were having our employees create TikToks for them, you know, edit the photos, edit the podcast, upload it, create thumbnails, all this stuff that, like, realistically, as I say it now, I'm like, holy shit, that is a lot of fucking work and a lot of goodwill. Just like probably one of the nicest things I've ever done for somebody who was trying to get a YouTube channel off the ground. So a couple weeks ago, Josh tells Suicide that it's not happening anymore and he's going to have to find somewhere else to record. Realistically, probably shouldn't be that big a deal, right? Because, I mean, how many people do we know with podcasts? I mean, it seems like almost anyone can figure this out, either rent a space or buy some mics and set up a space. Josh told me that he was not thrilled, that he kind of didn't seem stoked. Okay. And And then I see, but he had a couple more episodes he wanted to release and everything, so he released those. And then the other day I see it in the calendar that there's a OG Suicide live stream. And I actually said to Josh, I'm like, you think that's a safe move? You know, he's on the way out the door. We're going to put him on live stream. He can say whatever he wants. Not that there's anything like, you know, in particular that he would be able to say or that, you know, we were worried about him saying, but I was just like, you sure that's a good idea? Josh told me, he gave me his word that he wasn't going to talk any shit or anything. Okay. So then, this is the funny thing is you guys have probably all seen the video that he put out. I have not seen it. It was like 25 minutes. I'm like, I'm not watching this shit. But he put out a video where I guess he threatened to beat me with a chair or something. I don't know. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm not watching this shit. But I guess he just, in general, just didn't really seem like he was thankful or appreciative of the fact that we allowed him to use the spot for a ton of time and, you know, let him hang out with everybody, helped him get connections with different people. You know, I know some of the interviews, the bigger name interviews they had on his channel were because Laura helped connect him to certain people or reached out to people on his behalf, everything like that. So yeah, that's why like earlier today I was thinking about it and I put the quote, what is it? No good deed shall go unpunished. Because I was thinking about it and I was thinking about how so many times as a content creator, I've basically just like given people opportunities, people who are not really in a position where they had a lot of opportunities coming in. And somehow whenever I do that, bad things always come from it. I mean, and this goes back to like the very, very beginning of my business career or whatever. Like I remember there was a shoe company that this guy I know owned. And he told me, he goes like, you got to be really careful who you do something nice for. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he pointed out that, you know, that whenever he would give somebody free shoes, he'd give somebody 2-3 pairs of free shoes, that then at some point they would become upset because they would not end up being pro on his company. You know, like the average BMX dude, skater, pro guy, somebody who wants to be pro, you get a couple of free pairs of shoes, you're thinking in your head like, oh, I'm going to start getting paid by this brand one day or whatever. And, you know, he would always have the problem that he would give somebody 3 pairs of free shoes. And then when they decided to leave and they wanted to go start buying some different shoes or they get sponsored by a different brand, they would always throw some shade on the way out. They would always like kind of hate or like act like he was sort of fucked up or whatever. And it's just this weird, consistent thing. And obviously anybody who's watching this, you're probably thinking, well, Adam, that sounds a lot like the guys who left your channel earlier this year. You read my mind. Yeah. Whenever you do something nice for somebody, once they start to realize that they've reached the peak of how much nice stuff you're going to do for them, usually they just find a way to sort of like paint the situation as if actually you didn't really do shit for them at all. So I guess I'm not surprised. But I guess I was surprised to hear him call into someone else's stream. Well, again, I didn't hear this. I just read the title on Reddit. So if I'm confused or anything, let me know. But people basically saying that, or he said that he just didn't receive enough promotion. So aside from just having my editors cut up the podcast, create the thumbnails, create the TikToks, create the reels, we also were posting a bunch of the clips on the Clips channel. We did that for a while. I don't know when the last time we did that was, mostly because his guests have just been smaller, so we haven't really had that much of a reason to post too many of those clips on the Clips channel. But we were posting the reels from time to time, you know, around that same time. We haven't done that for a few months. And we would also post the photo of him and the guest on the community tab on the YouTube every time he did an interview. 4.7 million subscribers. That seems like kind of a big deal. And I instructed one of the employees who helps me run my Instagram and my TikTok. Shocker, not everything that is posted on the story on my account is posted by me. Sometimes I have people helping me out. All the time I have people helping me out just because it's too much work. But they would post about all of his interviews on my story. My Instagram story usually averages like 50 to 100,000 viewers. My Snapchat story usually has like 500,000 viewers. So that's us putting you in front of 600,000 people. And then the community tab, that's another 4.7 million people that might potentially see it. So I guess my question is, how were we not giving you enough promo? I don't know. That kind of blew my mind when I heard that. I was like, okay, this shit is wild. You got to be really, really careful who you do something nice for in this world these days. So, yeah. I mean, certainly when it comes to podcast hosts and everything, there's probably a million people listening to this right now. Like, why did you do that for him and not me? Or why can I find someone to do that for me? I mean, for me, putting myself into the shoes of a beginner content creator or whatever, yeah, you hit the lotto if you get somebody who's going to give you free studio time, free editing, free help with publicists, and promote you. So yeah, no good deed shall go unpunished. But I have some good news, which is that despite everything that I have gone through this year, my heart has not turned cold. I actually had a good friend of mine reach out to me and say, when he saw me post that quote, he said, the challenge in life is to not let the ingratefulness of the people who snake you turn your heart cold. He probably phrased it a bit better than that. But I say all that to just say that even though quite often, even when I give people interviews, some percentage of the time when I give people interviews, they basically do some fuck shit afterwards and diss me or whatever. And that's fine, because it's just how the game goes. That's how the cookie crumbles, is that maybe if 2% or 5% of the people I interview end up going to be haters and talking shit, that's okay. But that's just me doing an interview. With the suicide thing, I was a little let down because I just felt like I had done so much for you and didn't ask anything of you. I just I just came into your life, did a ton of positive stuff for you. And then once I let you know that it just realistically wasn't going to keep happening because it just didn't seem like there was a future in it for us, we get disrespected on the way out. So I guess I just say all this to warn people out there, be careful who you do something nice for. And also, if you're in that position, if somebody ends up doing you a big ass favor or like just helping you out a shitload along the way, and then at some point it becomes like, oh, maybe they're done helping me out, maybe they've kind of maxed out the amount of help that they're going to give me, you should not take that as an invitation to shit on them on the way out. Loyalty means that you show love even once they've kind of reached their limit in terms of how much they're going to help you out. So yeah, I say all that just so that I don't have to talk about this on Tuesday for the No Jumper show, which will be premiering at 6 p.m. Like always, I'm going to keep this short. I could go way longer. From what I've seen on the comments on the Reddit and on YouTube and everything, it seems like everybody already agrees with me or understands. But I just wanted to flesh things out so you guys could really understand and so we could kind of put a cap on this whole little saga. So thank you very much to everybody who watched this. We out. Appreciate it.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about this recent commotion that's been going on at the No Jumper office? OG Suicide pulled up with a chair.
Yeah, like
Said
Bam
that
Bam
ADAM22
Bigelow.
was going to get smacked with the chair.
He pulled up like Bam Bam Bigelow. Like, I
Oh,
was like,
Montgomery Broad.
That was wild.
He
I
pulled
didn't
up?
recognize that. No, okay, so basically, I told the story, and I appreciate the fact that you don't know this because that shows that you're not on the Reddit all day. But basically,
I gotta get ready. You always tell me that I'm not a part of the Reddit community. I'd be going crazy if I was.
might trigger
'cause,
you.
Yeah, that's what I was
You might
about
be
to
mad.
say.
It'll
Yeah,
trigger
yeah.
you for
They
sure.
say
I got
all
a
type
war
of
with
shit
him.
about Brick Baby on Reddit.
you might do a walk down on the Reddit CEO by the time you get done
Hey, I got a
scrolling.
war with him. I told the main 5 people that always post, right? I said, look, I'll pay for y'all tickets, first class. Come sit down with me. Let's
In the
chop it
Reddit?
up. Yeah, they all back
See,
down.
I don't know any of the names.
I didn't either.
I'm
but I
just reading
figured-
comments. I'm
I
not looking
figured
at the
that
name.
They would push their factors to the forefront, though. All they're doing is sitting there like, who's going?
Yeah, nobody.
Who's going to do it?
Nobody's about to go.
All right, you want me to break down the
Nobody's
situation
going.
for you is basically like
Oh, shout out to the Reddit, man.
things got a little awkward with OG at a certain point where you know, we're letting them use the studio for free. And there was basically like one instance where 2 of my interviews went late, so he had to wait a couple hours extra in order to do an interview that he was trying to do. And so there was a little bit of a weird vibe there. And I did an Instagram live where I talked about this already, and I wasn't going to repeat it.
I saw that.
Right, but then
I didn't see
there was
whole
also
thing,
kind of a weird situation where he was asking me to borrow money, and he asked a couple other people, or at least
And
one
you
other
left him
person
on
in the
red.
office, who to borrow money. And it was starting to become obvious to us that the podcast that we helped him start and that we were letting him use the studio for free and everything, that it was never going to become profitable or get monetized or whatever, because his channel got up to 9,000 subscribers or some shit like that, but he never had the watch time in a given month to actually monetize the channel, so it never made any money.
Get 4,000 followers at one, but
Exactly,
you
yeah.
can't.
But so like basically, we told him like, hey, we've done this for you for the past 9 months or 10 months or whatever, but it's going to end here. And so he said, all right, well, I want to do one last live stream in the office. And Josh actually said to him, like, are you planning on crashing out? Are you going to do some crazy shit? He was like, no. He's like, I'm going to make it viral, but I'm going to keep it respectful. I do not think that that is actually what happened. I think in reality, he brought the folding chair and he was just kind of talking crazy, acting whatever. So I made that Instagram live where I laid out the actual facts of the situation, because when he went on the Instagram, when he went on and did his live stream, he said that he was choosing to leave and that it was because I had been talking about AD. Now, that is not true. In reality, we had that conversation with him and basically told him that we had let him do this free trial using our staff and our studio space and everything, but that we had to end it. And so he kind of like presented like a different version of things on that live stream or whatever. And then last night on the community clips, as well as back on Fig, they were talking about this, basically based their entire stream on it, which caused me this morning to go on my story and make it perfectly clear that these are officially No Jumper reaction channels. You know, like that's what they do over there. They watch what's going on here and then they make content about it. And to me personally, I don't feel like that's why they left. I felt like they left because they thought that they had the potential to really create something new and dope. And I think that even for somebody like me, I was watching it and I thought they actually had a chance. It turns out they just reacting to what's going on here. So I think that officially they need to change that LLC. We're not sure exactly who's on the LLC, but Fig Community World has been renamed to No Jumper Reacts, because that's what they do over there, is they watch what we got going on and they react to it. Myself personally, I don't watch what they have going on, and I only speak about it in reaction to what they say about what's going on here. But yesterday, bro, they're talking about the gay crip at extreme length. They titling shit about the gay crip.
The video yet. We're just pushing clips.
We're pushing clips.
We're not
We
pushing
pushing clips. They
clips.
can't help it. What has been going on recently is that after like 6 months of not doing any interviews, I finally went on Bootleg Kev, and somebody finally asked me, how do you feel about these snakes in the grass that dipped out? And I gave him my reaction, and I was just totally honest about it.
You think it's fair to call those guys snakes in the grass?
Oh, well, I think they know that.
Why?
Because they hung out until it was and told me over and over and over that they were loyal and they were going to hold me down, et cetera, et cetera. And then when it came down to it, when they were at the point where they thought that it was finally going to be financially beneficial for them to leave, they dipped and they created a bunch of fake narratives that were completely not based on reality. And the fans out there, they know, because they've seen how these narratives have flip-flopped and just changed over and over and over, and they're not really sticking to the original narratives. To me, that was why I consider it to be some snake. Yeah. And I don't even think that they would really, if you had a real off-camera conversation with them.
Now, what makes you think I haven't?
And oh, you probably have. And if I were
know that I have.
And if I were to see the conversation, I bet that I could point at it and say, look at right here. Look at how they basically fucking admitted it.
All right, so let me tell you, let's look at it like this.
They did it because it was beneficial to themselves. They are incapable of identifying the disrespect or the bad treatment that happened that would justify them being disloyal to me. It was beneficial to them financially. Well, they thought that it was beneficial
financially.
That's not true,
because even I could see some things that I thought were disrespectful.
Like what?
Like, hold on, I'll get to that. I don't know the business arrangement here at No Jumper.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know the business arrangement here at No Jumper. I don't know who was making what and what was happening and what was going on. I don't know any of that stuff. What I do know, though, is that business arrangements normally come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come to an end, the people that are in business together have a decision about how that end is going to go. I was fired very, very publicly from TMZ, right? Fired from TMZ because of what they said was a violent altercation inside of the office. I put my hands on somebody. The way that was spun, everybody there knows it's not true.
Okay.
Everyone knows it's not true, right? The way what that told me was that the relationship I thought I had with certain people there, it was never real, right? I feel like in the situation that you have with, I'm not gonna say the guys because these are people with names, AD, Trell, Dunno, everybody, Lush. You've been going hard on Lush. You asked Lush for a fade.
No, wow, I did. Did I?
See, you don't even remember.
I mean, listen.
You're so gone.
No, because
Adam, you're on drugs.
No,
but you're so gone. You don't even remember. You asked Lush for a fade.
I didn't like literally ask him in any kind of serious way.
I feel like you asked.
Run
Lush
the clip because I mean I might have said that I would fuck him up or that I was capable of fucking him up, but it was nothing where I was like inviting him. Like I didn't do the Flacco thing of like let's go outside right now. I need that
classic moment,
amazing moment.
Because
kind of awkward for me as a boss, but
no, it's not. That's another thing.
But it was crossing a line.
I know all of that though. All of that is square on you. Everything and all of the stuff happened. Everything that happened, everything that was going on here, the politics that invaded the building, the fade culture that invaded the building.
Nobody ever faded.
Nobody ever.
They talked about it a lot.
Somebody got their ass kicked in this motherfucker.
Oh, right. Well,
yeah.
I'm not sure I would call it a fade.
Right.
But
what I'm saying is that all comes back to you. You are the top dog here. You are the tip of the spear at No Jumper.
Right.
And that was stuff. And even the way all of that stuff was going down, when I was looking at it, there was a point to where it seemed like that there was a lack of accountability or even a lack of willingness to have certain conversations with those guys. You have this business fosters an entrepreneurial spirit. Everything I look around here, everything I see, all comes from your brain, right? People that are in here, anybody that's worth their salt in here, is gonna look at you, and then gonna want to say, "Well, damn, is there a way that I could do that? Is there a way that I could have my own brain?"
Interview with Bootleg Kev. Make sure you guys go check it out on his channel. It got to a certain part where Adam was asked about his ex-host from No Jumper, and he did not spare any feelings. Now I'm gonna play this clip shortly for you guys, but this is a totally different personality from what we see from Adam. I'm not sure if it's the porn thing blowing up or the amount of money he's gotten over the last couple of months, but he is definitely feeling himself and he is on one right now. Here's what Adam said about AD.
I saw AD said something because you had Snoopy Badass on.
Yeah,
who
he wants special treatment because Snoopy Badass had a video where he basically said that, like, and this is a long time ago because I did an interview with Snoopy like 2 years ago, and AD wasn't there or anything, and like Snoopy had a video where he basically said that AD was blocking him from going on No Jumper. So when I had Snoopy on the other day, I asked him what was up with that video, you saying that you would fuck AD up or whatever. And I guess, you know, AD, like, last night did this whole song and dance, acting like the victim, acting like, oh, that's so fucked up that I would ask this dude about him. So just for the record, I am one of the greatest hip-hop podcasters to ever live. And if you think that I'm going to have a motherfucker on the show and not ask him about the beef that he previously had with someone who was a host on the channel, A, you're not paying attention to what I've been doing for all these years, because that is 100% what I do. AD, like, I don't know why he like thinks he needs like special treatment, but I think the reality is that he probably isn't even actually bothered by what I said in the interview with Snoopy Badass. He just does like 4 streams a week, and he needs topics and he needs stuff to talk about, and so that probably seemed like something that would be good clickbait.
Right.
And that's not like, people just, you see people become this weird version of themselves, and they start faking fights, and they start faking beefs, and they start, you know, creating beefs out of nothing or whatever. And I was in Florence about to get married is because his cousin came on one of the No Jumper panels, and then AD did a whole stream talking about, you know, if I'm not fucking with Adam, then you, or if you're my cousin, you shouldn't go on No Jumper or whatever. And I hit him up. I sent him like, a couple of texts just being like, bro, I didn't know you had a problem with this fucking guy. Like, what do you, like, but again, it's like, he needed some clickbait. He needed something to talk about that week. So you see how AD, even being who he is, he just is, I don't know, it's like weird. Like, oh, you could have just texted me and said, like, why'd you interview my cousin? Instead, you do a 3-hour live stream about it. And, but that's why I kind of feel bad for these guys, because it's like they feel like they have to talk about me to get views and to get people to pay attention, because that's all of their most viral content has just been talking about me. My challenge to all of those guys, and I've said this before, is get 1 million views. Have an opinion. Have a thought.
Are you talking about on a specific video?
Make a video that gets 1 million views. Have a thought. Have an opinion. Do something. The stipulations are, you can't get 1 million views talking about me. That's not going to do it. There's not 1 million people who care that much about any of these ex-hosts talking about me. Or, get an interview. Talk to somebody who's like really interesting and get 1 million views. That's my challenge to every single one of them.
Well, I think
you will have proven to me that you successfully when you get 1 million views, because I could tell you that last month I got 50 million views on my YouTube channel. And this is like, people talk about a sinking ship. All of these channels combined are maybe 10% of the views that I get in a month, and I'm a sinking ship. This is what these people actually, while they were on the channel, I was always transparent about pay. I was always like very, open to having discussions about what the future of the channel was going to be. So that is the one thing that really bothers me, is just this bullshit victim narrative that was painted on the way out. And at the end of the day, you need money to go to war. And I got a lot of it. And I can't speak.
I mean, I don't think they want to. I mean,
now I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Him saying AD needs him for content was wild. I watch AD's show, and he really only talks about Adam when his audience asks him to. I know you have Whack on your platform now. You guys do a podcast together, but I'm not so sure that I would tell gang members that you're ready to go to war with them because you have more money than them. Whichever way you meant it, it's not going to go over well. And you gotta also remember, Adam, you're a civilian. These gang members, yeah, you may employ them, you pay their checks, but at the end of the day, their loyalty is not to you. Listen, I'm all for bragging and propping your.
Let's talk about No Jumper for a second.
Okay.
Since our last interview, some of your hosts have left. AD, that's the only person I'm personally familiar with. I've interviewed him way back in the day.
Right.
Remember when I did the interview with on your platform? We said what's up to each other. Who else left?
There was this guy Trell.
Okay.
And then Lil Housephone left.
Right. So we'll talk about Lil Housephone last. So Trell and AD.
And then a couple other guys.
A couple other guys. What led up to this?
Well, the Housephone situation kind of led up to it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the Housephone situation. Okay, so I think Academics brought this up, and you and I talked about this offline. Housephone had messed around with Lena before you guys were like officially a couple?
Yeah. Like I met her and me and her hung out a couple times, and then we didn't talk for like a month or two. And then he ended up running into her at a music festival or some shit like that. And then they ended up hanging out. They slept together. And then a couple months after that, me and her kind of reconnect and end up hanging out and eventually dating. And so, but that didn't really have anything to do with the situation.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Was that ever weird at all that you have this guy who you're employing who slept with your wife at one point?
Honestly, no. Like me and him never talked about it. Me and her talked about it when it first happened, but then we never really like talked about it again after that. Like it was never really, because it's not like me and her were really seeing each other at the time, It was just, we were all just kind of in the same social circle hanging out or whatever. So that was never like a source of stress between me and him or me and her.
Okay. So then what happened leading up to him leaving?
So I go to the porn awards in January, and I end up meeting this random trans girl and doing like a little TikTok interview with her or whatever, this girl, Gracie Jane. And then we talked about the TikTok that I did with her, because in the TikTok she says like, oh, you want to suck my dick? I bet you would love sucking my dick or some shit. And,
and she's trans.
Yeah. And we talked about it on the podcast. She left like a comment basically saying like, oh, you should have me on the podcast or whatever. So I have this like comedy podcast with Danny Mullen called Sledgelords. And so we ended up having her on, and she like very quickly starts throwing Housephone under the bus and saying that they had hooked up, right? And so there was like a little bit of a hint of this because she had left a comment on one of my Instagram posts, basically saying like, "Oh, like your boy Housephone likes me," or I ask your boy Housephone about me. So I had asked him like, "What's that about?" And he denied it. So I thought there was nothing to it, right? And so then we do the interview with her, and she starts trying to throw him under the bus repeatedly. She keeps mentioning the fact that they hooked up or whatever. And I told her, I'm like, I am going to cut this out because this is awkward. You're putting me in a weird position with one of my hosts, yada, yada. Then I talked to Housephone on the phone. He's still denying it, but he's also making it clear that he wants me to edit it out. So at that point, I'm starting to kind of put it together in my head of like, oh, okay, so there is some truth to this, right? And so my editor, to be fair, had a very daunting challenge for him because she probably said his name like 30 times throughout the podcast or whatever. And they cut out some of the chunks of her talking about him in general. But then there was a couple other times where she tried to bring him out where they just edited his name out or whatever. And I guess there's like one time in the podcast where they said his name and my editor missed it and didn't get the name because it was kind of in the background while somebody else was talking. And it came out, the fans figured it out very, very quickly. And that quickly put a very, very large strain on he and I's relationship because he felt like he had been exposed and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Lil Durk's still mad at me because we had, he had asked us to take out a part about him having, an upcoming baby. I told my staff to take it out, and my staff members dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
point blank, because I just talked to the PR, and got more details. I mean, but ultimately ends up, you have to take the blame, regardless of what happened. Mm-hmm. So I could relate to the situation, but he got angry. Did he throw a drink at you during a live podcast?
Yeah, we reconvened like soon after that situation, and he was still really upset about it, and he was like basically accusing me of having done it intentionally, which is not true. Obviously I told my editor, and I showed him the screenshots of my conversation with the editor where I was telling him like, hey, we can't put this out. You got to edit his name out or clip these parts out or whatever. But yeah, things got a little heated at one point and he kind of threw a drink at me. And I don't think we've appeared on camera together since then.
Okay. Was it a live taping?
Yeah, it was live.
Okay. So it's not like you could edit it out or anything else like that.
No.
Okay, so did he quit after that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he still doing stuff online or not really?
Yeah, he has like his own podcast now and stuff.
I'll be back. So, OG Suicide was not playing, you know what I'm saying? He had that whole fucking chair. ADAM22 did not show up. I already knew that nigga was about to show up. He was not about to show up. That white dude, man, was not about to show up. Nigga, he would got connected with that chair, nigga. You know how many memes that would have been? Bro, I seen this video of this white dude was trying to, it's after the Alabama Montgomery shit. This white dude tried to run up on this black dude. This nigga said, "Pocket! Pocket! Pocket!" The white dude fell on the ground like, damn! Nigga, that chair is literally taking over shit. You know what I'm saying? A classic moment in the Black History Month. That should have been a classic moment in the Black World War History Month, man. He was mad because Adam, I guess, was letting him go, and he said he wasn't appreciating how he was, and he was talking shit about AD, and which he probably was, and T-Rail and shit, because he don't like AD and T-Rail because they left him. But it's like, bro, you exposed little Housephone for messing with a transformer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he been in that bitch since day one, so they all knew him about the same amount as you. They knew you, Adam. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we're gonna ride for somebody, we're gonna ride for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you can't get mad because your bitch got ran through by little Housephone. You know what I'm saying? And you expose him, and the people they jumped back. You know what I'm saying? They reacted. You know what I'm saying? And they eventually left, made their own channels. You know what I'm saying? And it's this back and forth that going between both of them really about how the situation was not right for each other. You know what I'm saying? Adam, he got this chip on his shoulder like, oh yeah, I'm trying to prove these niggas. I'm trying to prove them wrong. Woo, woo, woo. AD was like, hey, bitch, we don't give a fuck, nigga. We got our own shit. We up. We winners. Fuck we talking about, you know what I'm saying? And of course, they probably gonna be talking about each other. You know, they was in it. They've been doing fucking YouTube as a whole for a long time. I think Adam don't understand that how much these people brought people to watch the show. You dig? Yes, you helped them out a shit ton, but they equally helped you out a shit ton as, you know what I'm saying, and you didn't even give them a lot of money as what, you know what I'm saying, they was supposed to get offered, you know what I'm saying. You helped out a shit ton, and they helped out a shit ton, you know what I'm saying. I don't think AD and Trell, none of them was the snakes in the grass, you know what I'm saying. They all helped out for years. It's not like they just was in that bitch for a month or a year and just left. They was in that bitch for years, you know what I'm saying. And, you know, that's how it be sometimes, you know, you get to a point like you're not trying to fuck with them, and they not trying to fuck with you, because you not trying to give them the amount of money or the time on the sheets. You trying to cut sheets back. You trying to cut what they trying to do back. It's like, hey man, we trying to make money out here. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that you it's a business and you can't be losing money, but at the end of the day, you know, they put their whole career on the line. They risk their lives for some certain shit about fights and situations, about fighting for AD, which is fighting for Adam, which is retarded, fighting for the white man. Imagine risking your life. But you know, motherfuckers they be so ride or die for motherfuckers, cause motherfuckers want to help them, and they don't see how hard AD, Trell, and some of them niggas fought for him. You know what I'm saying? He just see on the end of, oh, he helped him out because he has the whole $1 million sub channel. But you understand, nigga, they protect you during some of that shit, nigga. You in LA, that shit crazy. You know, they protect your dumb ass, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, you know what I'm saying. They brought different personalities to the shit. That's probably why people still sticking around to watch the shit, because, you know, they help build up the channel, and the people you got now, they all helping build up the channel. And it's like, you cutting motherfuckers off just like that, you know, of course you're gonna get a pushback. Of course you're gonna get somebody to tell you how they really feel about you, bro. You know, you put people in a rough situation to where it's like, you know, they want to help out, they want to be ride or dies, but it's like, you're not trying to help them in their pockets or in the stuff they need, you know what I'm saying? And he, you know, Adam mad because they had their own channels and shit. Yes, nigga, why not? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers want to have at least a fallback if something ever happened like it did. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to have a fallback. Niggas don't want to be stuck out. You have your side of the story to say, and niggas don't have their side of the story to say. You dogging these niggas, and they can't say nothing back because they ain't got no channel or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you see why niggas do what they do, because niggas need reinforcement. Niggas need fight back. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you did the little Housephone like that dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough situation. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this situation with him talking reckless at Trell and him, you know, I thought he's gonna come back to bite him in the butt too, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, no good deed go punished. But at the end of time, you don't understand, these niggas risked a lot of their credibility just to be in a situation with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all both got something out the situation, and of course y'all all gonna be fighting, you dig? It's like Crip, like, it's like, y'all all gonna be like feeling like, oh, my side was right or your side was right at the end of the day, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, I feel like AD, Trell, Lil House, they did the right team. I think it was time for them to go. They create their own platforms, their own channels, their own whatever they need to control. Adam, you know, he just keep whatever he got, you know what I'm saying? Put whoever you need to work in that bitch and do what it do, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, man, like, everybody can eat, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think we need to just take out of people's mouths so we can eat, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they was put in a tough situation, you know what I'm saying? AD, Trell was put in a tough situation to where it's like, we've been on this platform for so damn long, and we want our own shit, you know what I'm saying? We want to be the boss of our own shit. We want to make our own money. we're not getting paid as much. We're not getting the respect we want. They talking reckless on us. It's like, you know, it's just motherfuckers want their own shit. You dig? And nobody finna say to no yes sir to some white dude named Adam 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And no, not just to bash Adam, you know, because Adam did give niggas like kind of platforms to could come up. But at the end of the day, man, you know, when you constantly like growing from the black culture, you did Crip, like I feel like it's almost like, I ain't saying it's old, but it's like, bruh, you gotta give these niggas something. You eating off the fucking black culture like tough, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, we understand you do give these niggas shine, the other niggas you do promote, cause some of these niggas don't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? And you just help these niggas out. But it's like, at the end of the day, man, right, you know, motherfuckers gonna want what they want, you know what I'm saying? If, you know, you in this community and you understand, like, motherfuckers they don't think that they need some shit, you know what I'm saying? And attitude too, I feel like he's just trying to prove to them like, hey, y'all could have been done left. He's still gonna eat, which they have with the porn and everything that he undone. He eating, you know what I'm saying? He probably set for life. Him, Lena got ran through, got a whole car after getting ran through. That's tough, you know what I'm saying? She got BBC and got a new motherfucking Lambo. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But hey, wherever floats they boat, I feel like they all eventually won. You dig? They all get the clout or the money, however which way they got it. Some making more than others, some not making much as others. But they all eating, you know what I'm saying? They all getting the views, the clout. You know what I'm saying? They all got their own system now. So, you know, it's still good to see certain situations to where, you feel me, they get a back and forth. I ain't count. You know, back and forth do be crazy, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers do want to see a back and forth sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, then they all got their own platform, and now he can't be like, oh, you say anything wrong, team, I could fire you. Now they can say how they really feel about each other because they ain't all stuck under each other and relying on each other. They all got their own platform. They all got everything. I think one thing to my Big 22, Adam, if you don't get your week, laugh, boy. It's just like, bro, if you just really went to the boxing ring, nigga, somehow I would just molly whop your duck ass, you know what I'm saying? It's just how that would be. And I see some episode, they be like, you ain't finna fight, you gonna call it popos. Which is most deaf, they finna call it, Adam finna call it popos. If anything, that nigga finna have that speed down. You see him go to OG suicide, that nigga was not to be found. But you know, that what's your problem? That nigga finna for most deaf. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy that AD, Trell, and all the other people that have their chance to get their platform, because I'm gonna for sure have his platform. He got over millions of fucking subscribers, you know what I'm saying? So he gonna have his fucking platform. It's just good to see the underdogs, the little man at the game winning at the end of the day, man. And they black, so you know, gotta support the black brothers, you dig? At the end of the day, man, make sure you like, subscribe to the bitch, man. And we out this bitch, chilling outside, big crip, gang gang.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. Even though this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.